Hello, I'm Vera from Raising Hope. Welcome to my second series of videos. On this video, I'm going to give you some tips on how to stop enough time to listen to your inner voice and hopefully find a bit more inner peace, especially in this time that we're living with COVID, because we're so fatigued with it and most of us are stuck at home. What I've thought, since I'm in the same boat as all of you, where I can't travel and I can't see new things, I've decided to travel inside and look for my inner world, and find little moments in the day to self-soothe and self-nurture, and I hope you follow me on in that journey too. I made an intro video at the end of December to explain what my journey is about. So please watch that so you can see what this journey is about. As a recap from my intro video, I'd like to say that this journey is, first of all, a personal journey about self-discovery and looking for hope again. And my intention with this is to for people to look for their inner strengths and to find them and to find hope again. So in that, you can look at that in a spiritual way, or you just might want to look at it in a more practical day-to-day way, which is still spiritual, but you know, each person will look at it in a different way. So I want to include any one of you who might feel that trying to go into a spiritual path, something that you don't know, might feel a bit foreign to you. Today's video is about how we nowadays, with all the information that's out there, how our inner voice, gut feeling, you can call it as well, or what our heart says, depending on how you look at it, each person will call it a different thing. It gets drowned in all this information that comes out every day, and we look for information everywhere, and it causes anxiety. So on a day-to-day basis, what I find is that I get a lot of information from different places, especially now with this COVID situation where there's news about people not believing in it, people believing in it, people being scared, and I'm trying to find my own way through that, because obviously I want to contribute to improve the whole situation, but to be able to improve, to help other people, I have to look inside first and find my own truth. So what I'm trying to invite you to do is to listen to your own inner voice. What does your gut feeling say about whatever you're reading about, whatever you're being told by your friends, by your family? We all know what's right for ourselves. So, and then we can act accordingly. And sometimes that inner voice, I find that sometimes I kind of shut it off, because I feel that it's a nagging thing that I don't want to listen to, and it keeps nagging me. And then it comes up as this inner dialogue comes up as something frustrating. It feels like it's angry with me because I'm not listening to it. So then it's getting thoughts that become more and more intrusive. So what I'm trying to find is a space of silence that will allow that voice to come gently and to tell me what it needs to say. The other difficulty is when these messages come, they're not always very clear. So I often will get frustrated because I don't know exactly what I exactly want. So that's really difficult as well. So I don't blame anyone for not really wanting to sit down and listen to that, because it often can be confusing as well. But I think what happens as well is because we're all so busy, we don't stop enough to listen to that. And I've been talking to lots of people who have been stuck at home working, and then they're not stopping long enough even to have a mini rest to gather their thoughts, or to get up for a few minutes and you know, give themselves a mini nurture, like a nurture moment. They give themselves a breather, because they feel, well, if I'm at home and I have the time, I have to do more and more and more, and they've been asked to do more as well. So what I've been trying to say to people is, even if it's a couple of seconds every hour when you're working, when you're stuck in at home doing your work, a couple of seconds just to breathe, and simply to say, like, what I've been saying is for people to do a mini Zen moment. And that mini Zen moment consists of straightening up and putting your hands on over your stomach and closing your eyes and thinking, how am I feeling now? And just let whatever comes up just for a couple of seconds, and then you can go back to work again. And that just grounds you for a few seconds. And if you did that every hour, that would connect you more to what's going on inside. I often been feeling sad and angry and teary, and sometimes I don't know where that's coming from. And often I think it's because I'm not connecting to that, to what my body's trying to say, what my mind's trying to say, what, you know, everything inside's trying to say. We don't give enough time to ourselves to do that. So, and the other thing that's important about that inner voice is sometimes when we have we're in a crossroads, or we're given two options and we're not sure which one to take. Sometimes, often it's just, if I stop and I listen to that, an answer will come. If I listen long enough, an answer will come, and I'll know what's right in that moment. What I've been doing with my videos, which is to do with a bit of chanting a little bit. What I've found as well is repeating a few times whatever I'm singing, even if it's 3 or 4 times, even if it's in my head, it quietens everything else down for enough time for me to then listen to that voice. I'm not going to say that it's going to be immediate for you, and it often isn't immediate for me. But what I find is, the more I practice, the more I feel better in myself. And the videos you're going to see after this video, and that I've done on the previous series, I do repeat it 108 times. You don't have to repeat it that many times. If you want to do a prolonged session because you've had an especially stressful day, and you've got a few moments to spare, that it is very good. It does quiet the mind quite a bit, especially if you try it a few times and you start learning the words. And this is why I've been doing this in bite-sized form, because the text I'm using to repeat it's got 39 paragraphs in it, so it would be difficult to learn it all in one go. So I'm doing it in bite-sized, but also repeating it helps as well. So this next series, there's 5 Pauris that are joined together. Just as a reminder, the book I'm following for information on this particular text is The Yoga of the Mind by Shabbat Kaur, and I'm using it because it's a very easy way to look at what the text wants to say. The reason why I'm using a text is because I often find that I'm someone who finds it's very difficult to discipline myself, and I'm imagining that lots of you find it difficult to discipline yourselves and to do the things that are good for you on a regular basis. So I know, for example, that doing a bit of exercise regularly in the week, that would do me a lot of good. But if I don't have a particular motivation to do it, I'll stop doing it after a while. I've also started doing these videos because it's actually making me look deeper into each verse of this text. Because I know that I want to do videos regularly, it's actually making me do it. So if by being able to follow my videos, it will help you compromise to do a bit of work on yourself, good on you, that's brilliant. And that's the idea. It's to help you obviously I'm helping myself too, because I'm by giving, I actually get a lot out of that. So great for me and for you. So these in the book that I've mentioned, Yoga of the Mind. This is the next chapter is will be paragraphs 1 to 5, or pauris, and as a whole, they talk about mind and body, and how sometimes we get antsy about what I was saying about our body giving us messages, our mind giving us messages, and we're not stopping enough to listen to them, and then we're suffering and we get annoyed because of all the nagging, and then we want to shut it off by drinking. Well, you know, now January is also a month where some people are trying to stop drinking for a month. So also a brilliant month to look into other activities that would be nurturing for you. So that's a mechanism that would be out of the window if you're using it to relax and to shut off the voices. I'm being stuck at home because I'm trying to be good with this COVID situation. I'm trying to be good and not see my friends and things. That's which used to be something that used to nurture me. Well, it feels really difficult because I'm not going out, I'm not traveled. So I've decided, since I'm not seeing the world, I want to see the world within me. I want to see what's inside, and work on that, since I don't have the external input, which in a way ended up being a blessing, because it's made me stop and start looking inside again. So Pauri number 1, I'm going to chant it, and then what I will do is I will explain what it means, what it says on the book, and what straight away I feel about it. And then, as I explained on my intro video of this series in my channel, I'm going to then chant make new videos to chant the same pauri 108 times experimental, 108 times gentle, and 108 times whispered. And the idea is that you can pick and choose what you want to listen to. You can just listen. You can repeat after me. On any mode. On the experimental, what I found is, because I chanted in different ways, you can try and accompany me on all the different ways, or you could choose one that really resonates with you. So this is a good time to stop and listen to your gut feeling of what would be good for you. So whichever form of chanting would work for you. If you want to chant it, you could choose to chant that. So there's lots of choice here to find your inner voice, and I really hope that you give it a try. So I'm going to chant the next pauri, and then we'll talk about what that means. Soche sochna hovai, je sochi lakvar, chupe chupna hovai, je laha liftar, bukia bukna utri, je bahna purya bar, seas seam palakoeta ikna chalenal, kiv sachara hoye, kiv kore tute pal, ukamara jai chalna, nana kalikyanal. As I said in one of the videos that I posted after one of the chanting, 108 sessions of chanting, this text is Gurmukhi, which is language from India, from the Sikh faith. As I said on my intro video, this isn't supposed to be a religious message. It's just a vehicle to help us find our inner voice, and because these verses have such lovely messages. And also I learned this text through a yoga connection with Shabbat Deep Kaur. I've chosen to use it. You could use any text to do the same thing by chanting them. So the last verses are basically ask, how am I going to find my inner voice? How am I going to find answers to my questions? And we have so many questions for ourselves, and sometimes because there's often not final answer to anything, it can get quite despairing, be quite despairing in this day and age, especially where there's travel restrictions one minute, then the travel restrictions change again, and then you can't see your family. Next moment, there's new lockdowns and things like that, and then suddenly there isn't. So never like in this day and age, we've been experiencing so much change. And I don't know about you, but I find it really difficult to change especially now so quickly. It's quite tiring. So again, finding a center within myself, with the world outside changing all the time, helps me to feel balanced and grounded. So from this text translations, what it said is that it could help with feeling helpless. It can help with feelings of loss and depression. So repeating this mantra as many times as you can. If you, as I say, if you want to do 108, fantastic. If you wanted to do a couple of times a day, brilliant too. Just by repeating it, stopping a few seconds to repeat, a few minutes to repeat it a few times, it should slowly help you feel a little bit better in yourself. And I often find when I repeat it enough, I start finding a bit of peace within, and often sometimes I will hear answers to some of my questions. Bear in mind that each one of you will find a different message within revealed to yourselves, and will feel differently from it. And depending on the depending on the day you do it, you will find that you'll feel differently as well. But bear in mind, when you're feeling desperate, when you're feeling lost, by repeating this mantra regularly, it will calm your system down, and it will help you center yourself. So by all means, give it a go. It's very difficult dealing with life as it is right now. So any tools to help, I find, if I can find stuff to help me. The other thing that's really important, I think, to mention is keep it simple. Because we're always looking for more and more answers, and oftentimes the answers inside, the only real answer that will make you feel better in yourself comes from inside. And we keep looking and searching, and there's never a final answer to anything in life, because life keeps changing. So bear that in mind. And it's a really painful message, at least for me, knowing that everything changes over and over again when I feel settled. However, accepting that fact helps me then look forward and think, well, okay, I can't permanently be the same way I am. I can't make other people be permanently the way they are. So what's next? What can I do for myself to survive this life and find joy again and feel happy and free inside? Because obviously our freedoms have been taken away from us with this whole situation. So how can I feel free from within? Hope this is helpful for you, and I will soon post the first 108 repetitions, and I hope that's useful for you. Signing out, it's Vera from Raising Hope.